This is a shot that we would call a wide or a full. I find full shot or a full body shot a little more precise, since wide can mean a pretty big range of different frame sizes, though it certainly wouldn't be incorrect here. The defining feature of this shot is that we see full bodies of the characters from head to toe. A shot like this where we see below the hip but above the knee is a cowboy shot. It's the closest the camera can get to a character while keeping her face as well as her holstered gun in frame, hence the name. Now we're above the waist and we call this a medium shot. We're obviously closer, but we can still comfortably hold two characters in frame if they're standing next to each other. We're continuing to move in and now we're in a medium close. We're starting to gain much more emotional access to the characters and the frame is starting to feel a little cramped for two people. And now we're in a pretty classic close-up. We still see the full face but are right at the shoulder line and sometimes can even be above the shoulders. We use this when we need intimate access to the character's emotional state, and more often than not, this will be a single. Closer still is an extreme close-up, or an ECU. A part of the character's face is now cut off. In some cases, we may even see only her eyes or only her mouth. We save this shot for especially dramatic moments. So far, we've talked about frame sizes, but now let's see what happens when we change the camera's orientation relative to the character. We'll start by pulling back into a medium close-up. Note that Natalie is not only looking at, but is facing the camera straight on, so we refer to this as a frontal shot. Now that Natalie turned about 45 degrees away from the camera, we can call this a 3/4 frontal shot. You guessed it, this is a profile shot. And this one is a 3/4 back. And lastly, we'll look at how camera height affects the frame. We've now raised the camera significantly above Natalie's eyeline and are looking down at her. Not surprisingly, we call this a high-angle shot. And with the camera on the ground looking up at the character, this becomes a low-angle shot.